Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, Marwan Bishara. He joins us now live from Paris. Marwan, what do you make of all of this?
Well, look, I can understand the skepticism and the cynicism on the part of many because, as we've been reporting already, President Trump some 36 times have broke the news about a deal is coming, been crying deal for more than 2 months now. But finally, the deal has come. So, I mean, this is important. It's important that there is a deal, memorandum of understanding, a basic deal, general deal, guideline, whatever you want to call it. It's important that there is something in paper, that something has been reached and something is going to be signed. And that is certainly better than war. The question is for us, yes, if this could end war, it's great. Could it then pave the way to peace? Will it bring peace? That's a far more complicated question, and that does require some skepticism, knowing the gap between the two sides. And that's why one would expect that the deal will probably be not that too many pages, and it will probably have 4 or 5 key words like Hormuz, like nuclear, like Lebanon, like regional security, and so on. But it wouldn't have more than a few objectives, a few adjectives and generic language, because this is meant to be a sort of a general statement lacking in detail that allows both parties to declare victory if they must, but opens the way for the next 60 days or whatever, how many days, in order to negotiate a more pronounced, if you will, roadmap to peace.
Marwan, looking at what Pakistan's Prime Minister said in his statement, both sides have declared the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon. President Trump said that the Strait of Hormuz is open for business once again. But Pakistan's Prime Minister said that with the agreement now in place, mediators will facilitate a series of meetings this week. These pre-implementation discussions will lay the foundation for the technical talks and the official signing ceremony. Am I right in thinking here that basically what they've agreed to do is cease hostilities, but to have more talks about talks?
Yes, but I'm not surprised, Adrian, and I'm sure as someone who's been in the business for so long, a war of this nature, it was basically, we all know it was a war of choice, a war of aggression launched by Israel and the United States against Iran. Of course, Iran is not exactly an innocent party in the Middle East, but still, this was a war of aggression, and one could have not expected it to end well, right? I mean, they were talking about regime change. This was meant to be, a game changer, or basically a huge chaos in the Middle East. Now we are coming to some sort of a sense that this doesn't make sense anymore, and Netanyahu's grand design for the Middle East that he manipulated Trump into accepting is, of course, wishful thinking. Iran has not been destroyed. The regime has not been changed. It still has a hold in its nuclear materials, and it still has the missile program and so on and so forth, right? So it has used Hormuz. We've gone through all of this. So what is happening is important. And if any student of diplomacy will tell you, when you have a war of this nature that basically paralyzed the world, much of the world energy market, and that has had effect on, some 8 billion people around the world, and it really ran havoc in the Middle East, right? Causing the death of so many and so on and so forth. For that to end in some positive note of some sort, leading to talks for more talks, is a good thing. Now, of course, again, let's go back to the skepticism, if you must. When we hear things like ceasefire is firing less when it comes to Lebanon or Gaza or what have you, today Israelis killed 3 people in Jabalia because ceasefire is apparently firing less or something, right? So these words that should mean something no longer mean much, and that is problematic. But clearly there is a will on the part of both Trump and the Iranian leadership to reach a deal, because both of them need a deal. And what's a better way to get a deal than both parties needing a deal. As I said, the question is, the war might end, but will it bring peace? Or would it be a state of a ceasefire where a little fire is fired?
Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, Marwan Bishara, there live in Paris. Marwan, many thanks indeed. Al Jazeera